Update on the current situation. Uh-oh. I wonder what situation that is. So, they put this out, I guess, earlier, 12 hours ago, earlier today. It's Battlestate Games. It's from Nikita. It's the same main guy. So he says, let me clarify the situation in a little more detail regarding owners of Edge of Destruction Edition, Edge of Darkness, excuse me, edition and access to the cooperative mode and other issues. First of all, PvE game mode is not DLC. DLC, in our understanding, is the major additions to the game, including various functionality and content that are released after the official release of the game as themed DLC packs. Secondly, this specific functionality of PvE mode is necessarily located on a separate network infrastructure because essentially you play on our servers only in closed mode. At this stage, it is not possible to launch all players who are EOD holders. Right now, we simply do not have the required amount of resources for this. We observe your dissatisfaction, and we have decided that the functionality of PvE mode will be available for free to all owners of Edge of Darkness at the release of the game when the server infrastructure will be improved to the required capacity. Now you have all had the opportunity to test this mode by purchasing the Unheard edition of the game or upgrading to the version. We also decided to give a 50% discount when upgrading to the Unheard edition from the Edge of Darkness edition. We plan to send 1 free Left Behind edition keys to everyone who's already been upgraded. Moreover, any player of any version of EFT can have the opportunity to test the PvE mode. We want to add the ability to purchase a separate early access to this mode. For EOD owners, there will be a 70% discount on the purchase of early access to PvE. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts on this idea. I mean, this isn't really that bad, right? It's probably the best one that they've had so far. It's still bad, but like it's the least worst one. I would say that. Yeah, it's the least worst one. Why couldn't they just offer this off the get-go and subvert all the drama? I don't know why. I have no idea. So basically, the reason why this is DLC is because it still runs off of the same base game. So in general, a DLC is anything that, like for example, World of Warcraft Plunderstorm is like DLC. In addition to the game, that's like a new way of playing an existing game is DLC. You're not making a new game. Like in any definition of DLC, this does not fall under that category. At least it doesn't sound like the Magic 8 Ball. That's true. Wrong, try again tomorrow. Look at the first mod comment. Okay, last time I checked, a brand new game mode that the game's never had is a pretty major addition to the game. That's obviously DLC. Popular questions that appear in this thread. How's a new game mode? Not major content, so therefore not DLC. Well, look, I mean, here's the truth. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it, right? It is DLC. By any normal person's definition of DLC, a PvE mode is DLC. That's just the way it is. Nobody is going to imagine that it's not DLC. Like, if you polled 1,000 gamers and you asked them, is this DLC? I bet you'd have at least 950, if not all 1,000 of them, saying, yeah, it's probably DLC. Like, come on. And also, like, there's no dictionary definition of this, so really, whenever you give people something and then you misdefine it in a way that's non-advantageous to them, that they clearly don't understand, they're gonna get pissed off about it. I mean, like, it's really not that complicated. Like, so it doesn't matter, like, what your definition is, because, you know, this is like another example of the customer's always right. If the customer thinks this is DLC, then it's DLC, especially if pretty much all the customers think that. And I think that's where they're at right now. You advertised the arena as DLC previously. It is no longer advertised as DLC. Well, exactly, right? And the reason why they advertised the arena as DLC, it's because the arena was DLC. That's the reason why. So why is this happening? And also, like, I think that they understand that there's obviously like doublespeak going on, because if they didn't realize that, they wouldn't have changed the line about DLC. I think that that's the best way that you can tell that they did it on purpose, is the fact that they changed their wording. So like if they, and like, why would you need to change the wording? Well, the reason why is because you have redefined DLC in a way that is advantageous for you, but that doesn't necessarily mean the customer has to, you know, follow along with that. Arena was basically a standalone asset flip. It had nothing to do with the base game and core gameplay loop. Yeah, well, maybe the PvE doesn't either. EA is watching us off the corner and taking notes. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see, the rest of this still very tone-deaf and arrogant. Tarkov is still in beta, and you use the money we gave you to fund other bullshit we didn't ask or expect. Common sense should tell you to don't move resources from anywhere until Tarkov is feature complete. Once you've shipped the game, then go and waste whatever resources you want doing your own shit. I think that's pretty fair. It is. Y'all are so close to hitting the nail on the head, yet miss due to arrogance every time. It's not due to arrogance, it's because they don't want to. So this is the problem that the Tarkov developers have. They can't give everybody the PvE because they don't have the server capacity for it. Now, so how do you solve that problem? Well, you solve that problem by not releasing something like this in the first place. That's the way you solve the problem. But now that they're in this, there is no easy solution for them. Because if they can't give everybody the server space, they can't afford the server space, they're stuck. But the truth is that this is a problem that they've created themselves. They did this to themselves. It's not like it's some other, you know, accident or anything like that. It happened because of their own actions. So close, but still not listening clearly. Oh, you almost had it. Yeah, I feel like this is better. Let me clarify something too. If you access a mode PvE version through a game, original multiplayer, as far as you can't play the specific mode without the game, then it's 100% part of the game, making it a DLC. Yeah, this guy has the best definition of it. He did it better than me, right? Yeah, I agree with that. PvE is objectively DLC. It doesn't matter what BSG's definition of DLC is. Well, also, you have to remember that they agree that the PvE is DLC. And this is one thing that I hope Tarkov players understand, is that the developers of Tarkov know that it's DLC. They know it, and you can know that for a fact. And the reason why you know that they know it's DLC is because they changed the wording on their website. Why would they change the wording if they were being consistent? They changed the wording because they knew that they were going to do this. That's the whole reason. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe anybody who believes this shit. I mean, let's be honest, man. It's disgusting. Well, it's not a surprise. Let's see how standalone game Arena is a DLC, but a new game mode that we paid for is not. Well, because they're lying. That's why. They're lying to justify a bad behavior. It's simple. And this is the thing. Like, a lot of people try to use logic and try to argue with people, but whenever you argue with somebody who's lying, you're just going to be lied to. The truth is that there's no point in even approaching and arguing this. They're lying. They did it because they don't want to spend extra money on server capacity. They changed the words, after the fact to gaslight people into thinking that it was never the case, that the arena was DLC, but this isn't. And now they're trying to pretend like this never happened. I mean, let's be honest here, guys. They're just being pieces of shit. And so there's no reason to even engage in an argument or a conversation. They're lying, they scammed people, everybody knows it, and that's why they're all mad. There it is. And if they had said, too, here's the other thing. If they had said with the PvE, they had said at the beginning, we're not going to be able to get everybody into the PvE at the same time. We're going to have a really long server queue for the PvE. Or we're going to have a random lottery system, like kind of how like WoW betas have like a random invite list. Then it would have been fine. There's like 50 different ways that they could have done this. But the reason why they didn't use any of these other methods, you might be like, oh, they're stupid. No, these guys aren't stupid. They did it for money. What do you think? Like, oh, look, guys, let me give you a little bit of advice. Whenever personal gain and coincidence converge, it's not a coincidence. You think that they just accidentally charged $250 for this? Get the fuck out of here. They clearly did it because they wanted to see how much money they could get from people that they already got the money from. That's it. Jordan Belfort was talking stupid. Yes, you never want to think that somebody who is scamming you is dumb. I think that, yes, they have mismanaged this situation, but the outcome of the situation was entirely planned. This is what Lyric said.
Especially now that all these now that the genre is a fucking bombshell.
Yeah.
Of every motherfucker wanting to make an extractor shooter.
This goes back to my chart.
You know, you have a lot of people who are seasoned in EFT.
Yeah.
Your community is like super into your game. They love you and hate you at the same time.
Yep.
Because the cheaters or the bugs or whatever the fuck, but they still load up. You got the community like a WoW community. They love you and hate you.
And they love to hate you.
Successful.
No, he's right. Lyric is right. A lot of these people don't mind forking up $250 too. Well, a lot of people that play PoE don't mind forking it up, but they also don't mind it because they don't have to. I think that whenever you require something, it's a lot different than whenever it's an option. So yeah, it's possible this is an exit strategy for the company since they're hemorrhaging money. Just tank the company on purpose. How do you know they're hemorrhaging money? Have they said that, or have you seen their balance sheet? Because I think that they're not hemorrhaging money. Yeah, trust me, bro. Yeah, I mean, if I don't see the balance sheet, if this isn't a publicly traded company, then I'm not going to believe that they're hemorrhaging money. Yeah, no way. DLC abbreviation, people keep talking about that. Yeah, half your player base gets the new stupid edition. You will not be able to handle the load. Yeah, and this is also like another really good way to look at it. This guy brings up a great point. I thought about this when I was reading it and I forgot. So what's the logic here? So the servers can't have everybody. So you're adding a new version of the game, in which case your best version, or your best case scenario, is that you buy everything for the game, and you buy the new version, and then you're in the same position that you're at now, where you can't afford all the server space. It's actually crazy. EOD was promised was a great mistake for them. Now they've come to regret it, and they're trying to find any actual way to make money again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I think that it probably wasn't. Like, personally, I think that it would have been a better idea to just put it out, and then, like, for example, I would have probably tried the PvE version of Tarkov. Like, I'm not interested in PvP Tarkov because it's just too hardcore, and, like, I'm the kind of person that if I play a game and I lose progress in the game, like, the reward structure in my brain just, like, immediately falls apart. Like, because then I feel like I've lost progress, therefore I wasted time, and then I think to myself, I'm wasting time playing this game, and then I think to myself, why am I wasting time playing this game? Then I stop playing the game. Right? That's pretty much how it happens. So, like, almost any game that has, like, a reverse progression ends up making me lose interest in it, like, immediately, as soon as I have that reverse progression a couple of times. Like, I see that happen, I'm done. I don't want to do it again. Seasonal? Yeah, hardcore WoW is the same for me. PoE, I usually quit seasons whenever I die a few times and I lose a lot of experience and I'm mad. I'm like, oh, I just wasted 3 hours, okay. Well, I'm just going to go do something else. So yeah, it's just, that's a personal pet peeve of mine. And if a game has that, I will just never be interested in that game at all. I think that really, this wasn't a mistake by them. This wasn't an accident. This was them simply doing this to make the most amount of money possible. And I think that, again, with the DLC, I will say it one more time, Escape from Tarkov themselves, the developers themselves, know that it's DLC. Because if they actually thought that it wasn't DLC, they wouldn't have to reword what the purchasing was. Which they did on their website. They reworded it because they knew that they were wrong. That's all there is to it. I fucking hate greedy fucks. I mean, again, there's no problem with them. I think if they had said, hey guys, we need more money, and so we're going to have to charge, and like tell people about this like 6 months ahead of time, they would have been able to weather this and it would have been fine. They could have done the exact same thing, and I think that it probably would have been fine. Or it would have been a lot better. Let's say a lot better. And the problem why this happens is that, it's kind of what I was saying before, is that if you treat your audience like they're a bunch of vitriolic, stupid children, well, then they will be. And so what ends up happening is that this company decides, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and push this out there, but we're not going to talk to the player base about it and then make them look stupid. And, you know, just like insult their intelligence, be patronizing to them, try to like pretend like they don't know what DLC is. Like, you're explaining to an entire community of gamers what DLC is? Get the fuck out of here. Everybody knows what DLC is. That's why they're mad. It's because you offered it and you said that it was free before. So, it's again, it's the intellectual dishonesty and the insult to people's intelligence that they can't see what's clearly happening in front of them. I think that's what really makes people the most angry, not actually the price. I think that if they had put this out for $250 and they had told people, hey guys, we know that it's really expensive, we don't have a lot of server space, so only the most dedicated people can get it, they would get shit on, absolutely, but it would be a fraction of what this is. And the real reason why they're getting shit on so much is because they're insulting the intelligence of their audience. That's the reason. And the people that play Escape from Tarkov aren't stupid. Like, these are hardcore PC gamers that are playing this super complex, like tactical military shooter game. This isn't like, you know, pulling the wool over the eyes of Honkai Star Rail players, okay? Where it's like, oh, they're not happy? Okay, we'll release a new picture of one of the characters in a bikini. Okay, everything's fine again. So, the truth is that, like, these people are not gonna, they're not gonna take this. They're gonna be fucking furious. Of course. Or classic WoW players, yeah, something like that. So, yeah, this isn't a surprise at all. And there's Helldivers too. Be sure to check out the deals in the acquisition center today with prices so low, they're practically unheard of. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy. That's from Helldivers too. That's crazy. In only 2 days, they backpedaled twice. First, the EOD updated content, and now they've reduced the price upgrade. Do not fold. No, this person is very right. Yeah, never compromise with people that are trying to fuck you around. Never be like, okay, well, you can only, you know, it's like, you're not going to cut my arm off, but you can at least have a finger. Don't let them have anything. Yeah, just keep pushing. Act like it's never good enough until you actually get what you really want. Because if you don't, then people they're just going to slowly edge that away from you over time. Life is becoming expensive. Why not Tarkov? Seems fair. The problem isn't the price of the game. The price is like the insult to injury. If they had introduced this price point and they were honest and forthcoming with their community about what their financial problems were, then you would have had a lot of people that were angry about this, but it would be 20% or 10% of what it is now. It's the lying and the insult to the intelligence of the audience that's really making people angry here, not necessarily the price or the content itself. That's basically what's going on. Price change is now live, still won't buy it. So it went from... So if you had the $150 edition, and then you buy this edition, it would be $100, and now they cut it in half? Man... That's a really big price difference. Wow. Is it 75? Yeah, what, it's $50 I just checked? Well, yeah, but, like, it's 47 euros. Like, I remember, like, I think euros are less than $1 now, but it's, like, it's around 50 bucks, right? It's around $50 or 50 euros, somewhere around there. So, yeah, that's basically it. 50 bucks profit in a day, exactly, yeah. Japanese yen tanking? Yeah, I don't know about any other currency. I'm just saying about this. To the people that bought the new edition, you are idiots funding their exit strategy. Uh-oh. This always, hey, from somebody who spit on Stormount owners, let me tell you, this isn't going to go anywhere, all right? The people that are buying the edition have already spent $250. They're already stupid. You're not going to convince them that they're stupid, because... if they knew that, then they wouldn't have bought the edition. It's not... You can never explain to a cat that a cat doesn't know how to divide fractions. You can talk about fractions to the cat. You can explain, like, okay, so you have here. And then at the end of the day, the cat's just gonna... meow. And he's not going to understand it at all. There's never going to be a point where you get it through his head. And this is the same thing. They don't know a damn thing, man. It's not going to happen. Will microtransactions evolve or disappear? I do think that loot boxes will go away. The reason why loot boxes haven't gone away is because people buy them, number one. And number two, there are not any regulations to prevent kids from using them. So I think it was a very telling thing that whenever they decided to not let under 18 people in China buy loot boxes, that all of these companies' stocks went down massively. Because the truth is that a lot of the kids that are being taken advantage of by these loot boxes, and it's the parents' fault. It's not really the company's fault. It's the parents. But regardless, you know, at a certain point, you need to have a regulation for something. The truth is that a lot of times it's built off of getting kids to buy it. Even with regulations, the fines are still tiny and it's just the cost of business. We'll just make the fine higher, right? That's a pretty easy thing to do. So what's more, you buy this trash equals you normalize this kind of behavior in the gaming industry. I remember whenever I heard this. Yeah, I remember hearing this a while ago. Yeah, if you normalize it in the industry. Yeah, and everybody was saying, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Well, luckily, nobody bought it, and microtransactions never took off, right? I mean, I think that's what happened, right? Yeah, guys. I mean, this Tarkov stuff is pretty embarrassing. And I think, again, they can solve this problem whenever they want by just saying that they fucked up and acknowledging what they fucked up with and keeping doing the same thing. Because if they just keep doing the same thing, but they just don't call their players stupid, then it'll be fine. It's, again, the fact that people are being called stupid is the issue.